Hi, sixth grade, it's Ms Jakola, and I am going to teach you today a little bit about Earth Day. On Wednesday, the 22nd, is Earth Day, and it is a day that we all stop and think about Earth. So some of the things we can do, I have a big poster here, and I'm going to read you some of the items that it says. So some of the things that we can do is we can turn off the lights when we leave a room, unplug the charger on your phone, walk or ride your bike, take the bus or carpool with friends, grow a vegetable garden, carry your lunch in a reusable lunchbox, participate daily in the 3 R's, reduce, reuse, and recycle, use a towel to dry your hair or let it air dry, plant a tree or two, close the shades in your bedroom, ask your parents to use compact fluorescent bulbs, help out with the laundry, turn off your computer when you're not using it, turn off the water when you brush your teeth, take a shorter shower, use both sides of a paper, use a washable water bottle, bundle up in warm clothes when it's cold, ask your parents and teachers to buy paper products made with recycled paper, and share your knowledge about Earth. So today I'm going to give you a little bit more knowledge about Earth, and we're going to be talking about global warming, climate change. So I'm going to go over a little PowerPoint with you, and then during it, you can stop the video if you want to take notes, and then there's some review questions you can stop and try to answer. And then at the end, I will be attaching a Google form for you to fill out and write some short answer questions, and that's how I'll know that's your proof that you watched the video and you've answered the questions. And in the next few weeks, we will be going deeper into global warming, global change, greenhouse gases. All right, so I'm going to share my screen with you. Oh, here we go. Never mind. All right, so today we're talking about climate change and global warming. So we want to learn, what is it, what causes it, and what are the effects? So when the sun heats our planet, it's a naturally occurring process. We've all learned that the sun is our closest star and it's going to heat our planet. But is Earth getting warmer than it was in the past? Are humans contributing to climate change? So we've talked about, when we talked about the planets and the scale, we talked about how the temperature is warm so we can live here. But is Earth getting too hot for us? Are we doing the damage? So global warming and climate change. Let's talk a little bit more. So climate change is sometimes called global warming. This is because our planet may be getting warmer. Higher global temperatures can cause changes in our climate, such as more or less precipitation. We all know precipitation is rain, snow, sleet, or hail. And the higher global temperatures can cause more severe storms. So what might cause climate change, you ask? Well, first we have to understand a little background about the climate of our planet. So the greenhouse effect is the reason that temperatures on the surface of the Earth allow life to exist. So the greenhouse effect is why we have the temperatures we do. So what is the greenhouse effect? The sun's radiant energy warms the Earth, just like the sun warms a greenhouse. If you don't know what a greenhouse is, there's a picture here. And a greenhouse is a glass building that lets in the sun's heat. The glass walls and ceiling prevent or slow the escape of this heat back into the atmosphere. And most plants do really well growing in a greenhouse. So people who like to garden will make a greenhouse. So we have to remember that it wants to slow the escape of heat. So the greenhouse effect, the Earth's atmosphere acts like the glass of the greenhouse, letting the heat in and keeping much of it on the surface of the Earth and not letting it all race out back into space, because otherwise we'd have no heat, we'd be freezing. So what makes up our atmosphere? Many kinds of gases make up our atmosphere. We talked about this in class. Most of these gases will help hold the sun's heat close to the surface. About 78% of our atmosphere consists of nitrogen gas and about 21% is oxygen. Many other small amounts of gas like argon, carbon dioxide, methane, and ozone are in the air too, in the atmosphere. So greenhouse gases, some gases in the atmosphere are called greenhouse gases because they act like the glass in a greenhouse. So remember the greenhouse effect. Visible energy from the sun passes through the glass and heats the ground in the greenhouse. The infrared heat energy from the ground is partially reflected by the glass and some is trapped inside the greenhouse. So the greenhouse gases, they especially retain the heat that would normally radiate back out to space at night. So again, here's the diagram, and it shows you some greenhouse gases are water vapor, carbon dioxide, methane, ozone, and nitrous oxide. And we can see that energy coming from the sun crosses the atmosphere. A part of this energy is returned towards space. The surface of the ground is heated by the sun and returns heat into space. Greenhouse gases in the atmosphere retain a part of heat. Remember that gases are matter. We've talked about that in class. Everything in the world is made of matter, and all matter is made up of what? Atoms. Certain human activities can add to the amount of greenhouse gases, and these are called particulates. For instance, when we burn fossil fuels, burning fossil fuels is burning oil, burning gas, burning wood, decomposing organic waste. Our decomposers do that. Agricultural and industrial activities. So studies of ancient climates show that an increase of Earth's temperatures follows an increase in atmospheric carbon dioxide. Remember, carbon dioxide levels in the atmosphere have been increasing rapidly since the 1950s. We've all learned that if you have too much carbon dioxide, it can kill you. So we now know that the carbon dioxide in our atmosphere is increasing. And that's been connected to the burning of fossil fuels, which is burning of gas, oil, and taking our trees out of our forests, deforestation. That's giving us more carbon dioxide, which is not good for us. Based on climatologist estimates, it is believed that Earth's average temperature has increased 9/10 degrees Celsius or 1 62/100 degrees Fahrenheit between 1860 and 200. So they're thinking that the temperature is rising on Earth. Look at that polar bear. What's he on? Think about it. Looks like he's on ice. So why is that polar bear on there? What is that? What's the connection? We're going to talk about that in a moment. So we just need to remember, if we increase the amount of gases in our atmosphere, there will be more matter to absorb and retain the heat. It is believed that this is exactly what we are doing in our world. We are creating and releasing more greenhouse gases into the atmosphere through our everyday activities. So what's the connection between global warming and the greenhouse effect? Humans are adding to the levels of greenhouse gases. Greenhouse gases can absorb and retain the sun's heat. More heat in the atmosphere means higher global temperatures. So what are the effects of these high temperatures? If the temperatures rise, what happens? Our sea levels, our ocean levels may rise anywhere from 7 to 23 inches over the next 100 years or so. This may be due to the melting of mountain glaciers and ice sheets of Greenland and Antarctica. Remember, we talked about Antarctica, how it is all made of ice. Well, it's melting because of our global warming. So the more effects. The Arctic sea ice is fresh water. There's our polar bear again. You can see he's barely hanging on. And that picture was showing you that the ice is melting because the world is warming. Our climate, the global warming, it's like the climate change is scary. So Arctic sea ice is fresh water. It is less dense and may cause changes in deep ocean currents. Less sea ice may also mean higher sea temperatures because seawater absorbs more of the sun's energy than the ice would. So if we have increased rate of the melting Arctic ice, if all that ice, all that frozen water melts, what's going to happen? The fact that particulates in the atmosphere fall out of the air onto the ice, the particulates absorb more heat and cause melting of the ice underneath. And what happens if the ocean temperatures rise? It can trigger stronger hurricanes, because remember, hurricanes only form over water, warm water. Warmer oceans may also cause coral reefs to die, and that's going to kill a lot of different species in the ocean. Warmer ocean temperatures affect the climate on the land. Warmer temperatures mean more evaporation in some areas, and we could have drought. And more flooding in other areas. Temperatures may be extreme. We might have colder winters than we've ever had or hotter summers. And I think Arizona, we already have warm summers. So if we don't control global warming, this climate change, they're saying our temperatures could go even higher. So summer heat waves may last longer than normal. We really don't want that here in Arizona. Hurricane season may be longer. Droughts may be more severe and even last longer than they already are. Can we do anything about global warming and climate change? Yes, we absolutely can. I gave you a few ideas at the beginning of this lesson, and I'm going to give you a few more now. You can put less carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. So we're going to use mass transportation. That means you carpool, you use buses. We drive less. We increase the use of renewable resources. We reduce, reuse, and recycle. Plant more trees and use less energy in your home. Turn off lights, unplug things. Businesses, industry, and the world's governments can work together to clean our air, keep it clean, and continue their investigations so we can better understand the connections between human activities and atmospheric changes and make a positive difference for our future. So now I'm going to ask you to pause the video and get a piece of paper because I want you to write some answers. There's 5 questions and then we'll go over them, okay? So pause it until you get a piece of paper. Okay, are you ready? The first question, greenhouse gases such as blank and blank absorb and retain the sun's heat. So what are 2 types of greenhouse gases that absorb and retain the sun's heat? You can stop the video if you want to write your answer. All right, next question. More retained heat causes Earth's surface temperatures to what? So because we have more heat, our Earth's surface temperatures are going to do what? Pause the video and write your answer. Question 3. Blank are adding to the amount of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere. So what's adding to the amount of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere? Pause the video and write your answer. Question 4. Global warming is connected to an increase in blank in the atmosphere. So global warming is connected to an increase in what? Pause the video and write your answer. Question 5. Global warming can cause blank change. So global warming can cause what kind of change? Pause it, write your answer, and then we'll go over the answers together. All right, well, I hope you did well on this. Let's check it out. If you don't know, if you got the answer wrong after we go over it, please feel free to go back in the video and watch and relearn and see where you made a mistake. And question 1, greenhouse gases such as, their answer is carbon dioxide and methane. They absorb and retain the sun's heat. Question 2, more retained heat causes Earth's surface temperatures to rise. Remember, we talked about how our temperatures are going up. Question 3, humans are adding to the amount of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere. It's nobody but us, it's the people. Number 4, global warming is connected to an increase in greenhouse gases in the atmosphere. So we're getting more greenhouse gases because of global warming. And the final question, global warming can cause climate change. Remember, global warming and climate change are kind of interchangeable. How'd you do? I hope you did well. If not, go back and find the correct answer. Here are some other websites you can go to and look at for more information. In the next few weeks, we'll be doing assignments about global warming, climate change, and greenhouse gases. Like last week, I gave you an article about greenhouse effect, and you were to answer it on a Google form. Now you're going to go into this assignment, and you're going to answer more questions on a Google form about this PowerPoint. So let me show you. Stop that, and I'm going to share my screen. And I made a mistake, but you will see an attached Google form, and there's like 5 questions I want you to answer about this presentation. That is your evidence that you have watched this video and you've learned something from it. And we're going to be using this information for our further lessons. Thank you, and I hope to see you all soon. I still miss you so much. Have a good day.